Hello everyone, my name is Ira Tauchu with WhatsApp. Today we have Reggie Piercy, Senior Vice President of Operation with Reggie Hospitality Group. We will cover a few topics today. We will know a little bit about Reggie Piercy. We will discuss the importance of diversity and inclusion, and also why Chattanooga and what makes Chattanooga unique and important. Reggie, we really appreciate taking time in your busy schedule to talk to us today. Can you start telling a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been in hospitality for 35 years, and it really was a fortunate accident. I was in college, and I was going to be a CPA, so I was an accounting major. And my junior year, I always planned to get a little work experience, and so I went to the College Placement Job Center and said, it's time for Reggie Piercy to get some work experience. And by luck of the draw, they placed me in a hotel as a desk clerk. And I basically fell in love with the hospitality industry. And so I changed my major, went to summer school so I could still get out in 4 years. And 35 years later, the rest is history. I found my passion.
And then how did you end up in Chattanooga?
Well, Chattanooga is another fortunate accident. I was working in Nashville, and I came to Chattanooga to go on a train ride up in Etowah. And it was an afternoon train ride. And so I didn't want to have to travel all the way back to Nashville after the train ride was over, so I was able to find a hotel room in Cleveland, Tennessee. And so I stayed there, and I had an extraordinary stay. I was really impressed with the hotel, the service, all the touch points. And so when I was leaving, I said, who runs and owns this hotel? And they said, Vision Hospitality Group. I said, interesting. So I took a business card, told them what a great stay I'd had, and made my way back to Nashville. Well, about 4 months later, we had an associate that fell in love with a gentleman from Chattanooga and put in her 2-week notice, and just quit cold turkey saying, hey, I'm falling in the love of my life. I met this man in Chattanooga, and I'm moving there. And so wished her good luck and all the best. And so a couple months later, I'm driving to Atlanta, Georgia, where my son was going to college, and I have to go through Chattanooga when you go from Nashville to Atlanta. And so I was like, I wonder how Gretchen's doing. Maybe I should give her a call and see how everything's working out for her. So I did, and she sounded very happy, and she had a ring and a date to get married. And I said, I'm really happy for you. Everything's working out for you. And before we were about to hang up, I said, oh, by the way, did you ever find a job? And she said, yeah, I did. I found a job with a company called Vision Hospitality Group. Okay. And the light bulb didn't go off right away, but we started talking. I'm like, did you have a hotel in Cleveland, Tennessee? And she said, yeah, that's ours. And so I went on to tell her about this great experience I had when I stayed there. And so she said, well, by the way, my president, Mitch Patel, is looking for a director of operations. Would you be interested in talking to him? So anyway, I met Mitch at a local restaurant here. We had a 3.5-hour dinner date. And 7 years later, rest is history. So
wow.
That's how I ended up in Chattanooga.
That's a quite story. I remember whenever we met first at Emerging Leaders a few months back, you said Chattanooga is one of the best cities you ever lived. What do you think makes Chattanooga special or unique?
I've lived in 9 states. In 35 years in the hospitality, you move around a little bit, right. Especially if you want to try new experiences and take job promotions. So I've lived from East Coast to West Coast. I've really touched every coast of the country, including the Southwest, Mid-Atlantic, and California. So of all the places I've lived, I feel like Chattanooga is a lot like San Francisco in the fact that it's very progressive. It's a very diverse city, and you can find anything that you want here. The outdoors is a big attraction, obviously, but it also has the arts, music. It's got the river, and the city does a great job of pulling that river in with the festivals that they do, like Riverbend and others, to really make it a special experience. And for me, also being progressive with the internet speed, Gig City, it's nicknamed.
Right.
The internet's like oxygen now. You have to have that to survive. It's like water and oxygen.
Oh, we got the fastest internet, so.
Exactly. So I think the city, because it is very progressive and it is diverse, is just a great place to live. I like it too because you don't have traffic like you have in other major cities.
Absolutely.
And it's also convenient to go to a lot of different areas. You can be in the ocean in 6.5 hours, and within a 2-mile radius, you can be in Atlanta, Nashville, Knoxville,
Right.
etc. So it's very convenient to go to other places if that's what you want to do.
Absolutely. We are pushing WhatsApp, we are pushing diversity and inclusion a lot. And what are your thoughts with diversity and inclusion in our corporate world, especially for hospitality business?
I really like what Stephen Covey said about diversity. He said, if I have 10 people on my team and they all think alike, I don't need 9 of them. Diversity is proven that if you have a diverse work team in all different ways, it's more than just ethnic diversity. It's your background, your education, your experiences, gender, all those things. It's proven fact that if you have a diverse team, that team is going to be more effective and more productive over time. They will get out of the gate a little slower because they have to figure out how to work together. They have to figure out what the strengths of each person are. And so that there's some understanding that has to take place there. But once they do that and they establish that framework, that foundation, great things can happen with a diverse team.
Absolutely. So whenever we come back to you, what would you say whenever I ask, what is your biggest success story?
Well, personally, it's my son. I have a 28-year-old son, and he's the joy of my life. And my mission with my son was that as he was growing through life, that if he ever got in trouble or got in a difficult situation, that I'd be his first phone call, not his 4th or 5th. And so I've kept a very tight relationship with him all through his life, and he lives 90 minutes from me. And that was another reason why I did take this job in Chattanooga, because I could be closer to him. But I would say my son is my biggest success by far.
No, family comes first always, right? Well, what about your biggest success in your professional career?
I've been very blessed in my professional career. I've had the ability to meet some really powerful people like Stephen Covey, actually certified in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People program. Ken Blanchard of 1 Minute Manager fame. I've been able to meet him and be mentored and coached by him. Tom Peters, the list goes on. Just outstanding and very intellectual people that have helped to change my paradigms on how I see things. And so I think one of the people that most influenced me was Donald Clifton with the Gallup organization, and he wrote a book called Soar Through Strengths, and he talked about assessing people's talents, their natural skills, and then putting them in positions where they can soar with great success. And he used a metaphor to help teach that. And he says that put squirrels in trees and put the fish in the sea. And what he means by that is that if you have a job that requires you to climb trees and take risks of jumping from tree to tree and eating nuts all day, then go get a squirrel. They're going to come to work with a smile on their face, and they're going to love it, and they're going to be really good at it. But too often organizations, they'll go out and they'll make a mistake, they'll make a misstep, and they'll hire a cat. And they'll bring the cat to work, and they'll put the cat in the tree and try to help it to like to eat nuts. And at the end of the day, cats don't like to be in high places. They don't like to be in trees, and they definitely don't like to eat nuts. But organizations think we'll just send that cat to training and that'll fix the problem. Even if the training's world class, they come back, they're still a cat. They still don't like to be in trees and high places and eat nuts. So I think if at the end of the day you can select the right people and then train them and put them in an environment where they can be successful with all the right tools and resources, you can excel in your organization. And so I think my biggest success was taking those learnings that I learned early on in the 80s when I was first exposed to Donald Clifton, and applying that in every workplace I was in. And it's really helped to propel me through organizations and do be successful, be award-winning, and then move up through the ranks. And to be honest, I don't know where I would be if I hadn't had that training early on and that set of guidelines on how to be successful in selecting the right people, because at the end of the day, it starts right there.
Absolutely.
You get that wrong, and you're going down the wrong road.
Learning from your mistakes makes us definitely better. And as a WhatsApp, we provide college grads and college students to an opportunity to come to the United States. for up to 18 months. Okay, what do you suggest for those candidates who come to the United States after 18 months to get the most out of the program? If you would suggest them a couple of things, the most important things, what would you suggest?
If they're interested in making a career in hospitality, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what flag you have over the hotel, you're selling a room. And that room's got to be spotless. It's got to be perfect if you want to build a loyal customer base. And so I always said, you can have all this fancy stuff in your hotel, great arrival experience. You can have really friendly people at the front. You can have a great dining experience, but at the end of the day, you're staying in a dirty room, and you're not going to come back. You might give them a second chance, but if it's continually dirty, you're not going to build a loyal customer base. And so if you really want to be successful in hospitality, you need to learn how to manage the rooms division. And so I would say to start there, don't get caught up in all the sexy positions of maybe working concierge or the front desk or being in sales and marketing. Those are all important, and you need every department to be successful. But at the end of the day, if you don't know rooms division and you don't know how to manage the rooms division and select and hire and train the right people, and then set an environment to motivate them and take care of them and nurture them, then you're not going to be a successful hotelier. So if you're going to come over, make sure that you definitely get into the rooms division. You learn that. You learn the complexities of it. You learn best practices. And then branch out into the other areas. So I would say start in rooms and then go from there.
All right. Sounds good. And I just want to thank you personally since the first day that we met for your support, for your help with our project, with our company WhatsApp. We really appreciate all you did and all your support so far. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Ray. I think WhatsApp is on the right track, and you're doing great things, and I wish you great success.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.